So, yeah, where do I start? I just dropped Baisley off at daycare, or not daycare, but school, kindergarten. Woohoo! Now we are on our way home. I'm gonna make a pit stop at Grandma's house because Baisley loves their fresh tomatoes from their garden. So Grandma had picked some yesterday and they are at their house. I kind of wanted to make a video, I guess, because most of you guys know we've been going through a little battle. And we had court yesterday, and it was for a DVPO, which is a domestic violence protective order. And I will tell you that the length that some women, people go to falsify and lie about something like that is just horrible. In our case, the truth, the evidence was there to protect Tyler. And so we won. So we have no protective order, and we will be going and trying to pick up Allison this weekend. So that should be interesting. But I'm just gonna say this. If you are a mother and you have kids and you don't like the dad, who are you to decipher whether that child gets to be in his life? That's not your decision. You know, when you have somebody good, a father that wants to be a part of their child. Oops, I don't know what happened there. Anyways, like I think I was saying, I don't know 100% sure where that left off, but if you have a father that loves his children and wants to be involved in his child's life or his children's life, who are you to dictate that just because you don't like them? Like, I mean, that's not fair to the child. Every child needs a mother and father. You know, there's too many kids out there that have been raised by a single parent, whether it be the father raising the child or the mother raising the child. You know, everybody, you know, has maybe a vice, whether it be gambling, maybe drinking, drugs, whatever, you know, that have put these kids into a situation of only having one parent. And I'm sorry, that is not healthy for any kid. Nor is it fair. I completely understand if there is a drinking problem and drug problem, you know, if there is intimate danger to these children, of course you want to get them out of this environment. But when you do have one of those parents that is fighting an addiction and that child is forced to be on its own or with a single parent, they too have a higher risk of going through the exact same thing later in life. Why do we continue this vicious cycle of these poor children who then turn into adults, and then them to fight their own addictions and have issues. It's just, it makes no sense to me at all. And you get a good one. You get a father who wants to be a part of the child's life, and you make up stories. You want to do anything in your power to keep that child away from the father, because you are fighting your own battles, whether it be jealousy or, just plain hate for the other person. Maybe you're psychosomatic or whatever, manic-depressive, where you actually believe the stuff that's coming out of your mouth. I mean, I've read stories like last year or something, about stories that were made up about somebody saying, like the kid was being force-fed soap that the child was like allergic to and stuff. And like, you put that out there for other people to come to you and feel sorry for you. So why? Where does this need of needing people to feel sorry for you? Is it because you're lonely? I don't understand why women do it. I've said in previous videos, I have a great relationship with my daughter's father. We work together. Do we always see eye to eye? No, we don't. But she's not involved in those conversations. She doesn't know what's going on if we are having a bad day or a bad week, whatever it may be. And me and him squash it by the next week. The whole point of this video is I've never have ever in my entire life had to deal with CPS, being told that I was a bad parent, to have somebody attack me and my family, let alone, with false allegations. But one thing that I was smart enough to do is I film and I record everything. Because one thing that will never happen to me is I will never allow somebody to take my kids away from me for no reason, especially when it's somebody that needs to go and get mental help. If you know somebody that is struggling with a mental health issue, how do you talk to them? How do you present that to them? You don't. Because to them, they are just fine. If anybody has any advice on how to deal with somebody with a mental disorder, please let me know. Because this is very new. We have been personally attacked. I mean, something they wanted to claim was perjury the whole time. We've had perjury against our names repetitively on false allegations of domestic violence, alcohol consumption, animal abuse, force feeding our children. And I don't know if any of you guys have met my daughter, my family. She is the happiest, the most loving and caring child you will ever meet in your life. And that's not because I was abusive. It's not because I force-fed her. It's because I allow her to make decisions on her own. And I allow her to be a little girl and play. And I educate her. not sure if I'm gonna share this video. I know that if I do, one, I'm gonna get attacked. Two, somebody else is gonna attack me saying, "You're talking about me, you're ruining my life." I'm not talking about any one individual. I'm talking about all women in general. I'm talking about anybody with a mental disorder, anybody who's ever claimed false domestic violence and took somebody to court for it. You know, I don't care. I really don't. Everything that we do is for our children, and it's to protect them. And if you are parental alienation, and you talk shit about your kids, oh, somebody will say something about me saying the shit word. If you are telling your kids negative things about the other parent, that's your own insecurities, that's your own issues, not the child's. Stop the hate. Stop making these kids have to deal with your problems. Let them be kids. Okay, real quick, let me clear this up. If you have a child and you are co-parenting and you have a parenting plan, and that child says, well, I don't want to go with Joe Blow because, well, they make me eat vegetables. I don't want to eat vegetables. Or I don't want to go to the other parent's house because they make me clean my room and I don't want to have to clean my room. Or if they make me do homework or they make me do workbooks. And if you are the parent that tells the child, okay, you don't have to, and wants to keep that child away from the other parent because that parent is doing their job and is being a physical parent to that child, you are wrong. I'm sorry, but you are very, very wrong. You know, if a kid is telling the other parent that they don't want to go to that parent's house because that parent is doing what is right, is encouraging healthy eating, is teaching them education, is teaching them responsibility, you know, doing chores and helping out, how dare you to just punish the other parent, keep that child away, and make it as hard as possible for that parent to see that kid just because that child wants to be a brat? I mean, let's be honest. People can think that that is harsh of me to say, but if a child doesn't want to go to the other parent's house because they think that they are entitled to not have to eat healthy or to not have to be educated or taught something, you're so wrong. And then not only that, but, you know, okay, all right. Not only that, but then when you do give the kid up, you want to talk about the issues that they're having in school, and you want to encourage the other parent and tell that parent that they need to work with the child that you have been withholding and tell them that they need help. Yet, for the same damn reason that you are keeping that child away, it's wrong. And I'm sure I'll hear it for this one, but again, This isn't the first time I've said this. I don't care. These children these days need discipline, need structure. And too often, you see these kids nowadays, older kids, that are calling like CPS on their parents because kids are so entitled. They're not being educated or taught or disciplined. They're not getting any type of repercussions for anything that they do nowadays. And it's because of parents condoning bad behavior like that. And it pisses me off. I am so beyond done with childish adults. It's sickening. I just needed to get that off my chest. Thanks, guys. Sorry.